Hi everyone, my name is Emily and this channel is Queen of the Household. Today I want to share with you one habit that I have kind of developed over the last several years that has really helped me kind of limit the stress in my home and the frustrations in my home. So I think all of us would love to have less stress in our lives in general, and this habit has really changed the way that I think about stress, and just it has allowed me to have more power over the things in my life. So it really started from back in my teaching days. I used to teach fifth grade, and I loved teaching fifth grade, but there was one particular year where my students were a bit of a handful, and I would come home feeling frustrated and just overwhelmed, and I was just so over it. I was so tired of feeling this way every time that I got done with the day of teaching. And so one weekend I said, okay, I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna write down everything about this classroom that is frustrating me. And so I wrote down all these things and I just made a specific list. And then I said, okay, how can I go about fixing it? Or what is a solution to this frustration? And so I came up with this plan of, what we were gonna do. And honestly, I came back on the following Monday and I came in really confidently, and I had a plan and I explained it to my students and I stuck with that plan, and things changed in my classroom, and I started enjoying the class, and I think the class enjoyed me as well, and it turned around into just a really great year that year. And I know it was because I stopped and I thought about, why am I frustrated? Why am I overwhelmed? And then I said, what can I do about it? And I think a lot of times in our homes, we have different daily frustrations and we think it's just the way it is, or we just say it's always been that way, and we forget that we have the power to change some of those things. So when I became a full-time stay-at-home mom, I really started using that thought to help me in my home. So if there was something that was frustrating me, I really stopped and said, okay, why is this frustrating me, and what can I do to change it? Now, sometimes there's things that you can't change. Like, for instance, if you have a newborn and they need to be fed at night and you're the only one who can feed them, then you have to do that, and sometimes you just can't get the sleep that you want during that first year with a newborn. But there are other things that you can change. So I'm just going to share with you 4 really simple things that I have done in my home, just kind of recently actually, that I was feeling frustrated about, and I finally said, I can fix this. So I did. All right, so here's one thing. My son has a bunch of toys that have little sets of things. So this is a little grocery set, and it has all these different little food pieces to it. And he was taking them out and just throwing them all over the floor and then not playing with them. And he would do this not just with this set, but with like his blocks and his cars. And it was a real struggle getting him to put them away because there were so many little pieces. And then a lot of times I ended up having to put them away or walk around them. And it was frustrating. So I finally said, you know what? We're gonna put these up and you can pull out one at a time. And so that's what we've done, and he actually plays with them a lot more than what he did before, because before he was just dumping them out and then he was done with them. Now it's like, oh, I haven't seen these in a while. Let me go ahead and play with these. Let me pretend to eat them and all that. So that's one thing. Another thing is, there they are, my keys. I used to be so bad about losing my keys, and when I worked especially, I would just kind of I would either toss them on the counter, I would put them in my purse. I just never knew where they were gonna be the next morning. And so I would spend like 5 minutes in the morning looking for my keys. True story. And so I finally said, okay, I've gotta put them in one place all the time so that I know where they are any time of day or night that I need them. And so that's what I did. I have a little basket on my dresser, and I just put them in there every time I get home, and that way I don't ever have to question, where are my keys at? Okay, here's another one that's kind of a simple one. Okay, these little medicine dispensers for little kids, it never failed that we needed to use one in the middle of the night. And I had them up in our bathroom pantry area, not pantry, bathroom cabinet area in a basket with all the other medicines, and it was always hard to find because it's so little and it would just kind of get lost in there. And after getting frustrated trying to find it in the middle of the night when I'm half asleep, I finally said, okay, I'm just gonna put it in this little tray in the kitchen in a drawer, and that way I know exactly where it is and I can just go pick it out whenever I need it. And so that has been just seriously so wonderful. Okay, and then the last thing that I want to share with you is this basket. Okay, it's full of my microfiber cloths and just dusting rags and things like that. And I used to keep it up on this high shelf in our kitchen above our sink. And every time I would need to get a rag, I would just kind of have to dig and see if I could find the rag that I needed, because I couldn't see the rags. And then sometimes I'd have to pull it down and I'd have to look and see what I needed. And I finally said, why am I doing this to myself? I'll just put it under the sink. So I just took it from above the sink cabinet, put it under the sink cabinet, in that cabinet, and now all I have to do is open the cabinet door, I pull out my rag that I need, and I'm good to go. I don't have to spend time searching or pulling the basket out and looking for the rag that I want. So those are just 4 things that I have done here in my home to reduce the stress. And it's all because I thought about what is frustrating me and then how can I fix it. So think about, what are some daily frustrations that you have in your home? Is there some way that you could come up with a new routine or a new plan to cause less stress? Anyways, I hope that you enjoyed, and if you haven't subscribed, then hit that subscribe button. I try to upload a video at least once a week, just sharing different tidbits about that are hopefully helpful for the home.